This is the LG G7 and I found a great deal on Amazon for $715, which is almost $200 off the recommended retail price and whatever you can find it at JB Hi-Fi or other retailers out there. The beauty about this phone is the close resemblance it has with the Samsung, which is one of my preferred phones. One thing that I really want is to have the back button on the right hand side of the screen. The reason for that is I want to be able, I keep pressing back all the time. When I'm exiting apps, when I'm browsing the web, I'm going back, I'm always on that back button, so it needs to be closer to the thumb. Another thing I always do on a regular basis is swipe down my notifications. I always swipe down, and going with the larger phones, trying to reach all the way up the top is a drag, no pun intended. A dedicated button on the bottom of the screen just makes it so much easier. Just little things like that. Even the headphone jack has to be on the bottom because when I place the phone in my pocket, the bottom is always facing upwards. So it's little things like that that kind of made Samsung one of my regular everyday phones because it offered those things. Not to mention some other customizable options like even changing the fonts. Samsung was always the phone that I went back to. It always offered the better display, the larger display, the louder sound, the customizable options. Now in recent times, Samsung has started to kind of let me down a little bit because I'm not a big fan of the curved screens. I'm not a big fan of Bixby, but if I must have an assistant key, I'd rather have a Google Assistant key because I do use Google on a regular basis, where its main purpose is tied with Google as it's intended, rather than a Samsung trying to implement all their own programs and apps now these days on top of Android. I'm kind of feeling that Samsung is starting to go their own way, and it won't be long before they become like an Apple product where you're kind of tied to their ecosystem. But I still love the device. I needed to find a phone that works in a similar way, offers great features, but still uses Google as its main proprietor. So that's where the LG came in. This is not a review. This is just a fact video of why I picked LG over Samsung this time round. If the Samsung Galaxy S9 and the S9 Plus had a cousin, it would be the LG G7. Looking at this phone from every angle is very similar to the S9, with the volume and the assistant button placements to the left, the dual camera and fingerprint sensor placement right at the back, the power button to the right, and the charging port, speaker and headphone jack on the bottom, with the SIM card tray right up the top in the exact same location as the Samsung. Everything feels very familiar here, but with a flat screen display. Exactly the way I like it. In fact, this phone feels so related to Samsung that I was able to use the Samsung fast charger to fast charge the LG G7, thus keeping my original charger in the box for better resale value. One of my favorite features about this phone is the double tap to wake and double tap to lock. This can be done anywhere on the screen, whereas on the Samsung, I could only double tap the home button on the bottom of the screen. You can also unlock the phone with your fingerprint sensor as usual, and double tapping the home screen will also allow you to lock the device. Much more convenient than pressing the power button. The home screen usability feels very much like Samsung. I don't feel like I have to learn anything new here, and the dedicated notification button is a great bonus in my opinion. Speaking of bonus, I love the fact that I can add the volume slider in the notification area for quick access to all the volume levels across the device. Much more convenient than pressing the volume rocker. Let's take a look at the settings. Coming from a Samsung, I feel right at home with this page. with some added features that I've always wanted, like the dual 4G SIM capability. In Australia, I was never able to get dual 4G SIMs on a Samsung phone. VO LTE is also present, as well as other useful features found in higher end handsets. The phone also features a boombox speaker, making it the loudest phone available on the market today. You have to have a listen to this. Even the earpiece speaker can be deafening at times.
Saved messages. To play your messages, press 7. To record a message, press 6. To change your group, press 3. To access your user options, press saved message. Today, 4:56 p.m.
Stephanie, my name is Gary Potter, HOWER, telephone number 0402 18.
Customization features are aplenty also. I can change the system font just as I did with the Samsung. And remember how I said I liked having the back button on the right? Well, LG lets you drag all of the navigation buttons anywhere you please, as well as add other useful buttons if you wish. But it doesn't end there. I can even change the swipe effect between screens. As well as change the shape of my application icons if I wanted to make them look round, square, or even cylindrical. The home screen is also customizable in exactly the same way as the Samsung, but I ultimately end up using the rootless Pixel launcher. You can download it in the Play Store if you like. Oh yeah, the floating bar is there also, which does the same job as the edge screen on the Samsung. And the blue light filter is also present for those times when you play with the phone in the middle of the night. Last but not least is the excellent quality on these cameras. The phone features two 16 megapixel cameras at the back and an 8 megapixel camera at the front. LG is the only phone that fully utilizes the second camera as a separate camera that allows you to take wide angle shots. So much easier when you're trying to squeeze in more real estate in the same photo. The AI cam is also present, which is supposed to kind of detect what you're looking at and adjust the screen colors accordingly, but somehow it's a hit or miss at the moment. But the good thing is that the same two cameras can also be used individually when recording a video. this point you may be wondering, if the LG is such a great phone, why aren't more people buying it? Well, it's because they don't market themselves properly, you see. Samsung commercials are everywhere, there's advertising everywhere, and people get to see it. LG is the quiet achiever. They rely on people to spread the word. They rely on tech enthusiasts like myself to tell you what it can do. They also don't tie themselves down to any telephone companies, which allows for them to bring the dual SIM option here in Australia, which is not very common. And that is a great feature to have if you do happen to use dual SIMs, one for home and one for work in the same device. And the prices are excellent. It retails for $900, which is a lot cheaper than a Samsung. And if you look around, like the Amazon purchase that I had for $715, which I'm going to link in the description down below, by the way, so you guys can check it out. It is the cheapest price in Australia. It is a great buy. I cannot speak any higher of it. And I'm very grateful that I bought it. So RIP Samsung, I'm sticking with LG this year and possibly for many more years to come. On that note, thank you for watching once again. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy the alternative reports that I bring you. I'm not your regular reviewer. I'd like to look at things from a different angle. I'd like to report tech outside the box. So in that regard, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Not the pillow, but the subscribe button below. Give me a thumbs up if you like LG, or if you like what LG has to offer. And most importantly, if you do have an LG device, drop me a comment below and let me know what you have and how happy you are with the device. If you happen to be thinking about getting an LG device, I'll be using this phone on a daily basis, so I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have before you go ahead and purchase the device. Thanks again. Till next time.